and welcome to Tome of Uselessness. I'm Devin.
I'm Dan.
And today we're going to talk about we're going to talk all about part 3 of Disenchantment, and we are obviously off to a great start.
Every time.
Every time. But before we get into that, Dan, did you like anything this week?
Yes. Well, it's, as you said, it's been a little bit since we recorded an episode like this, so I do have some stuff here. I can't remember, did I mention previously how I finished the Salvation trilogy by Peter F. Hamilton?
I know you've mentioned it to me, but I don't remember if it was on the show or not.
Yeah, the last book was the Salvation Signal, I think it was called. Anyway, it was really good. Enjoyed the trilogy, and I thought, because it was interesting reading some of his earlier works and then reading this, because it's quite recent, and that it's just like in a different style, but it's way more like focused and narratively satisfying. I enjoyed the ending immensely, and I think that he either really referenced or did some good research on temporal shifting, quantum mechanics, and all that kind of stuff like that, because there was a lot of cool, interesting stuff in there and ideas that all had a make sense, real world type grounding. So it was cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I really liked it. Highly recommend that.
Nice.
I also checked out, in the Red Letter Media review of Blade Runner, Colin mentions a book called Future Noir.
Okay.
And it's about Blade Runner, and I read that book, and it was really good.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, the edition I had was a new printing from 2017, but the guy wrote the book, I can't remember. It was first published in like the 90s, and he was like on set of Blade Runner and was like a media writer at the time and like published articles about it, and then basically that evolved into this book. And he goes really in depth, and there's interviews with the stars, and one of my favorite chapters was he goes like scene by scene and talks about the actor in the shot and like some of the effects that were used and etc., and kind of really breaks down the movie in that way. It was really cool, really interesting.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so if you're interested in Blade Runner or just even behind the scenes stuff of that kind of thing, it's worth a read for sure.
Cool.
Yeah, and then I finished Mass Effect 3 and Mass Effect Andromeda, which,
nice.
Yeah, back to back, which were both, big sci-fi RPGs. And I actually did a solo small recording about some of my thoughts on that. Also finished Breath of the Wild on the Switch, finally. I think I've had it for a few years and never got around to it.
Do you have a Switch?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I got it a couple years ago.
Oh. I just assumed you were playing it on the computer.
No, Nintendo's got that on lock. You can't do that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're very first party, only party.
Nice.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was good. It felt very much like it's definitely like next level, and it's, like a la Skyrim. It's like you can just start going anywhere and doing all sorts of weird stuff, and it was fun.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And then I just started, so there'll probably be, I won't have as much reading done in the next little bit because I just started Rhythm of War by Sanderson, which was book 4 in the Stormlight Archive. And that's like a, 2,000 page epic, or probably like 1,000, but it's 2,000 because I'm on an e-reader. So that's going to take a while to read.
Yeah, fair enough.
But so far, pretty good. And yeah, that's some stuff.
Cool.
Yeah. What about yourself?
Let's see. Well, I've been listening to the same podcasts I always listen to. So, You're Wrong About and Maintenance Pod, and the 2 you introduced me to, which are A-Lab and Knowledge Fight.
Oh, yeah.
I really enjoy Knowledge Fight. It's good. The Lolita podcast wrapped up. So I missed a couple episodes, but yeah, overall, it's pretty good if you want to feel bad. all of the actresses who have played Lolita really just got the shortest possible end of the stick.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I have been I got a Stack TV subscription through Prime, which I'm probably going to cancel before my 30 days are up because you get a month free, right?
Nice.
But they put they put ads in the shows for other shows on Stacked, and I'm like, I'm not going to pay $12.99 a month to watch shows with advertising in it.
Yeah, it's the worst.
But I have been binging Guys Grocery Games on it because I like it. He just seems like a nice man.
Sure.
Yep. And that's about it, except for like WandaVision, which I won't go into because we're going to talk about it in the future, I assume.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's it. I just haven't been consuming a lot of media right now.
That's fair enough.
Yeah. Wait, did we talk about Bridgerton? Did I tell you about that already?
Ooh, again, maybe in real life, or I don't know. Didn't you mention it last time?
I can't remember. My brain doesn't work.
Yeah.
Anyways, I did watch Bridgerton, and I don't like the costumes. Mm-hmm. And there's a weird part where the main character kind of sexually assaults her husband, which I don't really like that either. And it's framed as kind of romantic, and I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the show. Not good though.
Fair enough. And that's on like a Prime or?
That's on Netflix.
Netflix show.
If I did talk about it before, I might have said more positive things, but I've changed my mind the more I thought about it. So I'm sorry if I sound wishy-washy.
It's fair enough. There can be some bad, or opinions can change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Nothing really exciting going on here. I did pre-order a book that's supposed to come today, so
nice.
Next week I'll have something to talk about.
But we all both did watch Disenchantment Part 3.
Yeah.
And this is probably, again, my fault that we're getting so late to the episode, because, of course, it came out in, like, January, I think I want to say.
January 15th.
Yeah.
A month later. Doesn't matter anymore. It's as old as dust. No. Okay, sorry, what were you going to say?
No, I was going to say it's interesting because maybe because I don't pay attention, but it's just like when things like this just come out on Netflix, it just shows up one day. I guess because I don't go on and be like, remind me and tell me things like you told me that it was out. Right?
Yeah, I don't remember seeing any advertising for it. I just went on and I'm like, oh, it's a new season. But yeah, what did you think of Part 3 overall? What's your impression of it?
My impression is that I really enjoyed it, and it was fun to go like back to this world with these characters that I really like. But it also had like this kind of weird, like, what's happening kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, I feel the same way because I love Bean. I think she's a great character.
Yeah.
I love like the way the show looks.
Yes.
And there was a lot of like really funny moments and a lot of really like heartfelt moments in it. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I'm like, isn't it time to wrap this up? Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's part 2 ended with them kind of almost being burnt at the stake, and then they fall through a hole, and they're underneath the castle, and there's these weird elf kind of trog, right? They're trogs?
Yeah.
Kind of weird things looking at them, and Dagmar, Bean's mama, is still alive. Mm-hmm. And I felt like that didn't get resolved or explained.
No.
Nothing that was built up in previous seasons got resolved or explained, and then they added more stuff.
Yeah, and I think that was my comment about Part 2 as well, was because in the beginning they go to like hell and it's wrapped up in like 2 episodes. Mm-hmm. And it's the same kind of thing here. They end up in this situation and then it's wrapped up in 2 episodes. And I was just like, what's going on? But that's fine if that's kind of like the show, but it's also, like you said, then they start adding more things into it. And it's like, I don't know if Matt Groening and the writing staff, it's like they're just, everything doesn't matter, or it's like, does something matter? Right? And I've missed which one's supposed to matter.
I almost wish that they would just make it more episodic than
Right.
like a overarching arc.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like that's where the really good moments come out.
Yeah, well, and I think they're trying to do like a mix, almost like kind of like a Rick and Morty, where it's like there is sort of a background overarching, or even like Doctor Who did that as well. Like there's sort of a background overarching thing, but it's like the episodes are sort of singular.
But they're not doing it very successfully,
Yeah,
in my opinion.
right.
Like I
Yeah,
don't.
well, and I think, oh, sorry.
I was gonna say I don't think it's bad writing
Mm-hmm.
because I do enjoy I think all the characters have good dialogue and interesting things happen in the episodes, but I just think that they're just having trouble telling the story.
Yeah, well, and I was gonna say as well as like as an audience, unless it's like explicit that the show is gonna be like singular episodes, like we're conditioned to be like, okay, what's the story here? Because it's, we're like, yeah, you're doing 10 episodes. What's your story, right?
Very, very true.
Especially, yeah, like these days, right? Because TV is written that way now.
Mm-hmm.
And they do set up all these very interesting overarching elements, right? Like with her mom and with her potential magic and destiny and everything. And you're just like, stick with one, or because here was going to be my main question is there only going to be 4 parts to this, or is there potentially going to be more? I didn't really look into the answer on that. So
I don't know. I wasn't able to find the answer. I don't know. I might have dreamed it, but I feel like I remember that it was only going to have 4 parts and it was planned out.
Yeah, that's what I also recall as well, was that there's going to be 4.
But I wonder if maybe COVID changed things, or I don't know, or maybe it's super successful. But I don't think it's I think it's successful, but it's not one of Netflix's top 10 shows.
Yeah, I think even in mid-January when you told me it came out and I clicked on it and it was like number 6 in Canada or whatever. So it wasn't even like you said, it wasn't even like top 3 or something like that.
Yeah.
Whereas I think part 1 and 2 were. I remember clicking on them and they were like, blam, because people were like, it's a new Macarena animated show.
Yeah, fair. I don't I get really excited when new seasons come out, but I think I'm in the minority of people that watch the show.
I also feel the same.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, back to some positives, like you were saying, like literally my first note here is that I love the animation and I love the character designs, and like you said, the world and everything about the presentation and animation is just great.
Oh my god, yeah, it's one of the prettiest shows. And I know you're a big Futurama fan, but I think this is my favorite thing that Matt Groening's done.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah, I like it better than The Simpsons. I never really got into Futurama.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I like fantasy stuff.
Yeah.
But I also like princesses who aren't good at being princesses. And I don't know, I find Bean's character really interesting and multi-dimensional.
Yeah.
And demons.
And demons, yeah. Yeah, it was funny. I felt like Lucy was kind of sidelined a lot this season.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I wasn't sure if maybe, like you said, maybe there was some COVID stuff, or maybe Eric Andre was busy with other projects.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know he's not just doing the one thing, right? So.
Yeah, doesn't he have the Eric Andre show?
Yeah, and I assume he maybe does other things as well. So
yeah.
So maybe they were scheduling, or because it was too bad, because I liked when it's the 3 of them together always.
Yeah, I like how the 3 of their relationship is kind of changing as well. Because in the first season, Alpha was just kind of in love with Bean. Mm-hmm. And then when she chose to save her mom over him, that kind of changed their relationship. And it feels like the 3 characters are still friends, but they're drifting apart a bit too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, especially in the last episode or 2.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Did you have a favorite episode?
I don't know about favorite. But I definitely there was a lot of good moments in a lot of them, looking through my notes here. But I actually really liked the part in episode 2 when Bean dresses as her mom.
Oh, yeah. That was great.
It was really great. Yeah. But what about yourself then? So you clearly had a favorite episode.
Yes. So I loved episode 7, which is Bad Moon Rising,
Mm-hmm.
when Bean is kind of sad about her relationship with Mora, I guess.
Yeah.
And Una, my favorite character, gives her drugs.
Yeah. And I love the execution of that line too, where she's just like, "Oh, honey, beer, like alcohol won't help," and she's like, "Well, what will?" And she's like, "Drugs."
My favorite scene is just them running around the fountain.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was a great montage, and they're doing just running around doing stuff. They're in the council meeting. They're on the thrones.
When they're scaling the side of the building.
Yeah.
So good.
And then even later in that episode, I think it's after the council meeting when they get kicked out, and then Bean's like, "Ah, oh, man, that sucks." She's like, "Do you have any more drugs?" And she's like, "No, you took them all."
Yeah, I like Una.
Yeah. It was interesting for her to return, because she came back in episode 3, and I wasn't really expecting her to come back like that. But then she stayed far longer than even I was expecting as well.
Yeah, it was kind of sweet how she was her and Zog aren't together anymore, but she was concerned about him and wanted to help out, and sure Derek and Bean were okay. I also really liked that they went back to Steamland.
Yeah, I was surprised that they went back for as long as they did as well.
Yeah, I really like the design of Steamland. It's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I was also super excited that Richard Iwati had a part in it.
Yeah, it was cool, and maybe because I wasn't really looking for it. I thought he was just he's just worker guy friendly, and then he's like, oh no, he's big bad evil guy. But I liked how they did the opposite, where it's he was wearing the fake mustache, and he's like, it's a bit, and I know I have to commit to it.
It's so great.
Yeah.
So I guess should we go over the plot?
Sure.
So, like I said at the beginning, Bean and Elfo and Lucy fall down to where the Trogs are.
Well, and it's like the Ardval and the Archdruidess are trying to set up a theocracy to benefit all of them, and so they're trying to manipulate Derek. And then Bean and Lucy and Elfo are trying to just, get back up to the surface and try to stop that.
Yeah. So Zog was sick from the gunshot in part 2.
Yeah.
Bean healed him before they tried to burn her at the stake. Zog wakes up and sees that assumes that Bean is dead. Right?
Yeah, and he's just kind of in the tower, still sickly a little.
Yeah, and then that's when Oddval and the Archdruidess. What did they do? They kill him, or they try to?
They're just kind of planning to let him die or kill him, and then he tries to do an escape, and then ends up getting buried alive.
Yes, that's right.
Buried alive.
And then there's so much plot, Dan. I don't know how to do a quick overview.
Well, I was just plucking out elements. Is that it's Bean tries to stop that. The Archdruidess runs away to Steamland, so she chases her. She ends up in Steamland, and then it turns out I wasn't really a fan of this reveal that it was the I forget his name now, but the owner / ruler of Steamland. He was trying to lure Bean there using the Archdruidess, and then she was kind of just out of the show suddenly, and I was
yeah,
felt there could have been a little more there.
Yeah, and he wants to marry her because he thinks she has magic, right?
Yeah, or he's just well, your kingdom's got magic, maybe not specifically her, but he thinks that there's just there is magic. But then even at that time, it was unsure. But then there's been a couple reveals that Bean actually does have some sort of magical powers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then at the same time, Elfo gets caught into the freak show.
Yeah, I did like him in the Adventurers Club. That was kind of fun, too.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite moments as well. When he's nitpicking that movie in the theater.
Oh, yeah. So he gets put in a freak show. Bean goes to save him and meets Mora, the mermaid.
I think it's Nora.
Mora. I'm looking
at
Mora
or Nora? Oh, okay.
Mora.
It is Mo? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at a synopsis right now.
Yeah, fair enough.
So either that or Wikipedia's wrong.
Oh, possible.
So they escape on a boat to go back to Dreamland. Mora follows them, and then Bean and Mora fall in love.
Mm-hmm. Or did they?
No, they did, right? Because I just want every character to be a little gay.
No, I just meant, like, was it in her head or not, even though we kind of see the necklace, but it's like, or is it?
Oh. I just was so happy that I assumed it did happen.
That's fair. No, but that's what I mean. It was well executed, that it was either ambiguous or what have you.
Yeah. So then they go back. Oh, also Elfo falls in love with their boat, which was kind of hilarious.
Yeah. Kind of ridiculous.
Ridiculous, weird, funny.
Yeah.
Then when they go back to Dreamland, Una, that's when the drug episode happens.
Yeah.
And also, it was kind of a weird, like, oddball scheme to get Zog to see his ex-wife and his daughter naked.
Yeah, their whole plan kind of is just because Zog has been acting crazier and crazier, that they're just like, maybe this will push him into full crazy.
Right. Which is a weird thing.
Yeah. But they're kind of like, through the show's explanation, they're like, oh, he's, his constitution and his mind is pretty weak right now. Like, any kind of shock might throw him over the edge. So they were just trying to throw something weird at him, I guess.
Makes sense.
Sure.
Sure.
But then not.
They find Merkmer's body.
Yeah.
Because the Merkmer we thought he was just turned into a pig, but I guess he switched bodies with a pig.
Yeah.
Then I guess that's when is that kind of when they come up with the plan to go get money from Mortimer's family?
Yeah, they're going to go to Mortimer's kingdom. And I was also like to say that it's a good running joke that whenever, like, magic is brought up, how, like, everyone's all like, anyone better than Cesario, essentially.
Yeah.
They go to Mortimer's kingdom to try to, like, get money and weapons and stuff like that because they think that they're going to be under attack. Because
they see a green smoke in the distance, right?
Yes.
Zog is going crazy and they get him a marionette dummy to talk through. Elfo thinks she's crazy. And then she sends him away to be taken care of, basically, right?
Yeah, like, I really liked, like, episode 9 and 10 when Bean's stepping up and essentially running everything because of the puppet, and she's just kind of, like, interpreting anything he says to be like, here's what he's saying. And then so she's running the kingdom, basically, and then, yeah, they're like, okay, we should send him away and then make Bean officially the queen, even though she never wanted to be the queen and there never was a queen. But they're like, let's just do it.
Yeah, no, I like that too, that she stepped up and they crowned her queen and stuff. The green smoke turned out to not be a threat, but then ogres arrive, right?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, it ends on a weird cliffhanger.
Which every season has.
Yes. Yeah, they want Elfo, right?
Yeah. And she's like, we're not going to do that.
But he sacrifices himself to them.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dagmar comes and steals away Bean to hell to marry what we assume is the guy from Steamland.
Oh, really? I didn't think that. I guess that makes sense.
It's Richard Iwati's voice.
Oh, is it? I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
That's what I assumed.
I assumed not, just because I figured Dagmar would have a better plan than that.
I think it might be a bigger plan, but yeah, it was his voice at the end. That's why I was like, fuck.
Oh, okay.
And Lucy gets decapitated.
Yeah.
And
sent to heaven.
Sent to heaven with Jerry. Yeah, it seems like a very hopeless ending, right?
Yeah. Well, and of course, just before that, Bean has the most epic great rant about killing orcs or ogres.
Oh yeah. So good.
Yeah, which I love that because Dagmar is like behind her and she's just like, and that's how a queen threatens people because she's talking about, exterminating their bloodlines and their allies and their friends. And I was like, yeah, you get her, Bean.
I know that you don't like to speculate, but do you have any ideas on, like, let's assume that part 4 is the last part.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any ideas on how they're going to wrap all this up together?
Oh my gosh, no idea. Because one of the things I was gonna say is throughout this show, everything that's like set up as a thing is not a thing. Like the Trogs, how they're like they worship the moon and there's some sort of moon power, and then they come to the surface and you're like, okay, something's gonna go on, and it's literally just them mooning the moon and slapping each other on the butt.
Yep.
The big green smoke, you're like, oh, it's gonna be a thing. No, it's just Big Joe. So it's like everything in this show. That's one of my issues. It's like, is anything a thing?
Well, if you go back and watch like season 1 and 2, you do kind of see the Trogs running around in the background in some scenes.
Oh, of course. No, but I just mean like everything that's like supposedly there's going to be some kind of
like the threat. Yeah.
a thing or a reveal or some kind of power. And it's just like, it's just a dude. And that's fine. Like, it can make for a comedic twist, but it's also, I'm just like, what is happening?
Yeah, fair.
But I think that obviously I would like, we'll probably see some maturation of Bean's powers of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
And that eventually, I'm guessing there might be some kind of apocalyptic type event, and because she'll have to like destroy everything or not kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Like, are we going to see Mora again, do you think? The mermaid?
I think yes, because when she sings that song and she's like, oh, and there's like a war on a distant shore, look to the star and I'll be there or something like that. So I was like, I'm expecting there's going to be some kind of epic-ish, quote unquote epic, but like, a conflict of some sort. And that their, allies that she's met along the way are going to have to come, and there'll probably be a fight against like Steamland's robots and stuff.
That would be cool.
Because that's one of the things I was going to joke about was like in many things, a sci-fi type especially, but it's like they pretend a robot on wheels with small arms with a light bulb head is like the biggest threat.
So good.
Yeah, even though it's like you could just kick it over.
Yeah. Oh, so good, so good. I
love
the Lady Knight too.
What's sorry?
The Lady Knight. What's her name?
Yeah. I don't know her name, but it was good when she came in as well.
She's great. Maybe she'll come save Bean and then they can get married.
Possible.
But yeah, I don't know. I think they're setting up Dagmar to not be the villain. I think there's going to be a twist that she's actually, for reasons, she's trying to do what's best for Bean, but she won't be able to tell her about it until X time. But I don't know. I'm really curious. I'm hoping there's more hell in it. I really like hell.
Yeah, it was fun when they went down there in season 2.
Yeah. And
it's just so odd too, like whether or not everything Dagmar, every time she shows up, she's always doing something like weirder. Like in this one, she's eating trog brains, and you're just like, what is she doing? Does she need that to maintain her power or something?
Or like maybe she's not even Bean's mom, just wearing her skin suit.
Oh, I see what you're saying. It's even at this point, it's not even her mom.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
Well, and it's the same thing, the secret society in them, and it's just like, so are they doing stuff or are they just not?
Yeah, really.
Yeah, like I said, I honestly don't know which direction or what their plan is, let's say, in a final part, because it's just like everything's wildly who knows what. I assume they're going to have to try to go get Elfo back. Lucy will have to, try to get back to town. Maybe they'll do the same.
We'll just chill out and stay in heaven.
That's possible. I would say, or they could try to do the same thing where he gets sent to hell, so then they go back to hell to get him or something, right?
Oh yeah, maybe they'll pull a Sabrina and Bean will die too.
Right.
Or maybe she becomes the queen of hell.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Like I could see a sacrifice scenario. Like I was saying, if it's like she's got to destroy the world, or she could sacrifice herself to save the world, or whatever.
I just don't know. It's a very hard show to predict because it's so chaotic.
Yeah, and like I was saying, it's like they discard or just like even I think this one there was in one of the episodes, I think it was one or two, when they're talking about like the treasures that the Trogs get, and then Lucy picks up like that amulet that they were trying to find to use elf blood for like immortality, and just like tosses it aside.
It's good.
Yeah, it's still very good, very enjoyable, but it's also frustrating, like you said, in that one element of just like, what's going on?
Yeah, I that's what it comes down to, is that I would just like I know we're gonna do a whole episode on it eventually, and I don't want to spoil anything too much, but watching WandaVision, for example, week to week, and getting little tastes of stuff, it's like a different experience than watching Disenchantment, because I feel like if WandaVision is leaving breadcrumbs, Disenchantment is throwing bags of trash everywhere. Like, there might be breadcrumbs in there, and they might lead you to something, but it's a whole other shit around too.
Yeah, and I think like just looking at my notes, and like you were saying previously, some of my favorite stuff throughout the season is just like the character moments, and like when Derek goes into the woods and then meets the fairies and gets swindled and like gets his stuff back. That has nothing to do with anything overarching, but it's just fun, right?
That Derek like B plot was hilarious.
Yeah, exactly, and it's just like it's good fun and it's comedic, right? And same thing, like I said, with the Bean dressing up as her mom. They have like an emotional confrontation, but it's just fun, right?
Yeah. Trying to do like her mom's voice and stuff.
Yeah.
Or like Elfo at the Adventurer Club, same thing, right? Like it's a funny character moment. But and then his brief romance with the
gypsy.
The machine from Big.
Yeah. I loved the reveal that she's a full body and just walks away.
She just gets up and leaves.
Yeah. Oh, that made me laugh a lot.
So good.
So yeah, like that's some of the stuff that's really great and fun. And it's kind of weird, like the show, because even between episode, what is it, 5 and 6, where it's like she goes in there and she rescues everybody from the freak show. They go outside and she does a magic blast, and then Elfo's like, "Oh, Mora," it's like, well, why didn't she free her the first time? Like she was in there freeing everything, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, it's just like weird go back to it moments or whatever, right?
Oh, totally.
But like when them in the mirror house getting chased by the thing, that's fun again.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
And like the whole like Steamland, just in general, the way it looks is so cool. Like I don't mind just spending pointless B plots there because I like being in that world.
Yeah, they really fleshed it, or like amped it up in this one for obvious reasons. But I just mean like the design and a lot of the internet connecting roadways and just all the elements of it really, really brought together.
Yeah, and just like when they're both working in the steam factory. Like that whole look is just really cool, and I don't know, I liked it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, it was kind of interesting, but then it's also, I think, the main complaint, because it's like the show started or ends just like it started, where it's just being captured by Dagmar again, right? So it's like we kind of went nowhere.
Yeah, I'm just reading like as we're talking. I guess the critical reception of part 3 at least isn't doing that great. It's like 62% is what people give it out of 100.
Right. I think it's like some things we've talked about in the past as well, where it's like, okay, when a part 4 is released, if you watch 3, 4, or all 4, if you watch it more back to back, will it all kind of make sense and be all narratively there? Because that's, like I said, that was kind of my main thing with this one. It just felt like it was just a real, what's happening, we don't know.
Yeah, it says some guy said that it felt unfocused, but it's slowly laying pipe work for something that could be a satisfying conclusion. They're saying like it's beautifully designed, and obviously they care about it. But yeah, I think that people's reception of it, at least critically, is like consistent with ours, where it's like it's very pretty, but what's going on?
Yeah, and that's the unfortunately how, like I said, that's either audience expectation or they just haven't written the line well enough. Kind of like I was saying previously, like a Rick and Morty, where it's like there's something in the background, but it's more about these singular adventures that they're going on. And that's kind of like even season 2, if I'm recalling, again, like, you know, episode 1 and 2, they go to hell, and or it's not they go to hell, or yeah, no, they do go to hell, but like the like the thing about her with the crown was kind of wrapped up quickly, and then them going to hell was wrapped up quickly, but then they went on like a series of adventures, and then there was, you know, again, some major stuff near the end, and that kind of works as well, where it's like you can do mixes of that, but this one didn't seem to have that same kind of positive mix, I guess.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Which is too bad.
I know it should be better, but I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. Dan, I don't know. I want to know how it ends, but I also want to enjoy the experience. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. You're like, tell me, Mac rating.
Yeah, tell me what's going on, but also don't tell me.
Yeah. But it is pretty interesting, like you said, the character of Bean, just going back to what you were saying, how it's like, you know, we don't have that kind of characterization of a princess type, and she's always never been good at it, never wanted to do it, basically. But it's like, I liked how she got forced into stepping up into it, and she did step up to it.
Yeah, and she did good, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked that as well. I like her as a character. I think she's really interesting.
Yeah, one of my favorite lines is when she does smash the glass to save Mora, and then, you know, she's like, "Oh, you're amazing," and she's like, "Oh, you should see me in a bar fight." She's like, "I'm told I'm both amazing and obnoxious."
That was a good line.
I don't know. Anything else to say?
I don't know. My brain doesn't work anymore. I can't think of much, like, except that I enjoy it. I think it's beautiful to look at. There's a lot of really good character moments, but overall, I just don't feel like the plot is doing what they wanted it to do yet. Right.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. Maybe they had some ideas they had to cut them out, or things that they just couldn't fit, and so, like you said, there was some omissions there, or it's like 1 and 2 are kind of like a thing, and then now it's like 3, 4 will be a thing, so it'll make sense in that way.
I want it to make sense. I really want it to like fit all together, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm just like, if that's wrong, but.
No, there's nothing wrong with wanting a show to be narratively satisfying.
I'm so demanding.
Yeah. I just want it to make sense. Oh, audience expectations over here.
I really want it to be good, guys.
Yeah. Talk about demanding audiences.
What a shitty person. Yeah, do you have any last thoughts here?
No, I think I've kind of said my piece a few times and repeated myself as usual, but for sure, like I said, I love the animation, love the character designs, and the voice work is really good. Abby Johnson? I meant to write it down.
Hang on, I'm on the Wikipedia page. Just stall for a second.
The woman who does Bean's voice, she does a really great job.
Abby Jacobson.
Sorry, that's what it was.
Yeah.
I knew it started with a J. I think she does a great job, and I really like her voice work. And of course, you got other classics in there. Tress MacNeille and John DiMaggio, Phil Lamar, etc. They're all professionals and everything. But yeah, I think she does a great job with Bean's voice.
Oh, me too. She's excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. What else is she from? Oh, Broad City. That's right. I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, I don't think I'm familiar with much of her other work as well, but I do like the Bean work.
Yep, she's good as Bean.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, should we wrap up then?
Sure.
So thank you very much for listening. If you enjoyed this, please share it with your friends and rate and review us on whatever podcast platform you're listening from. You can find us on Instagram, Tome of Uselessness, or you can visit our website, tomeofuselessness.com, or you can email us, tomeofuselessness@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you and know what you want us to do next. Pew pew!
As always, thanks for listening and stay safe.
Bye!